What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have another episode of Kart Talk, joined by some of my favorite super studs, as well as some guests. Everyone's been on at least once, so we'll go around the horn and just tell everyone a little bit about how you got started in Mario Kart Tour and where you're calling from, and anything that you think would be helpful for the community to know about you. We'll start with who's been on the most. I think it's probably episode 10 for you or something. Karim, welcome back, man. It's been a while though. How you been?
Not too bad, buddy. It's good to see you. I'd say it's probably about fourth or fifth episode, and it's still nerve-wracking every single time. I don't know why. I'm just convinced I'm going to pose some question that I'm not going to be able to answer. I got into the game I think week 2 or 3. Just post Blue Biddy Buggy, as I always mention. And as the weeks and months and years have gone by, I've progressed from being really terrible at the game to being really terrible at the game with a really strong loadout. That's pretty much how I play the game. And slowly got involved with the community yourself, and Sammy, same way I think most people do, obviously Carlos as well. And I would say in the recent years or two, I've become much more into sort of ACR, and now if you check my battle scores, you'll see how good they are. I've become a master at battle as well.
Wow. We'll take some battle tips from you then too. But Karim, you're very humble, man. You're a beast. How many top 10 badges do you have?
10, I think.
10. And then you're on what streak for the pit crew chief? So Sammy D on his server has basically the top person in ranked every single week gets pit crew chief. And there was a while there in 2021 maybe where it was myself and Carlos and a few others. And Karim, you've won it 18, 20 times in a row?
Once you get past 13, it doesn't really matter.
He's literally been the top person in Sammy D's friend list, and in mine as well. I mean, I've had a lot of ER members and others, Auto Drift and others. That Karim just crushes it every week in ranked, and then on top of that, doing the All Cup ranking top 10 as well for at least 10 of the last 20 or so. Congratulations, man! You're a beast.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. But what I would say is, I mean, Auto Drift is on my friends list. He's not on Sammy D's, and he's beaten me a few times. So I can't say that it's just been me. But I mean, it is heavily loadout dependent. Don't get me wrong, I've got a lot better at the game. I've definitely got better at the game. There's no doubt about that. But my loadouts, I think Studfit, you'd have a few yourself. So I don't want to take too much credit for that, but thank you for mentioning that. It's very kind of you.
Yeah, man. Well, I just want to kind of set the stage. Karim is a veteran of the game. I remember it was probably about 3 years ago, before I really got my channel started. We were in the VC on Sammy's server, and I remember doing one of these Mario circuits, and you were like, "How are you guys getting these monster scores?" And you were you already had the monster loadout, and then something clicked. It wasn't long after that. And then you've just been on a tear since. So I just want you're someone who I really respect in the game, someone I really respect in the community. And I think as some people have kind of lost the energy, I think having such a dominant person keeps us all motivated to strive for more. So thanks again for joining us today. We also have super studs, SMBros, the Super Mario Bros. We have Mario and Luigi. How are you guys doing?
What's up? We're doing all right. Thank you for asking.
So we've had one half of the bros on before. We have a new half. Hunter is now with us too to fill out the. Yeah, man. So we're gonna have some fun with them as well. But SMBros, tell the people in the community a little bit about yourselves, where you're calling from, how you got started in Mario Kart Tour.
Sure thing. So some of you may know we are the SMBros. Predominantly me, myself, and I, Jordan, and of course Hunter already introduced himself, and we're calling from the good old Dominion State. And as for Mario Kart Tour, I started my career. I'm back since day one of the app game, or whatever you want to call it. Been playing since launch. I was and like I started out as like a casual player, but took part in some fun rooms when it first started. Fast forward some time, I signed up for some clan war teams, did some of them for a bit, and and then fast forward some more time, I find you, Stud, and I've been official member of the Stud fan member since.
Nice, man. Well, we're glad you're here. Glad to have you as a super stud. And as always, with our super studs like Karim and like with you, we always have a seat available to join Kart Talk. This is one of my favorite ways to just hang out with my friends and talk a little bit about Mario Kart Tour and everything that's going on. There's some heated conversations, but before we get to that, I want to introduce to you some of my friends. First off, we got Nathalie, also someone who's very dominant as well, another fellow ER member alongside Karim, who's has some really dominant performances. In fact, you're going for top 10 this tour as well. Is that correct? How's it going?
Yeah, it's fine. Been busy with work and you know, as my hand, as I mentioned before, so it's been like a little slow, but hopefully this weekend I can push.
Yeah, your friend totally jacked up your hand, which set you back a couple of days. That's so sad.
Yeah.
And how many top 10 badges do you have so far in your Mario Kart?
I cannot compete with Karim, but I have 3, I think.
3. Still phenomenal. I mean, honestly, as we look at people who are in the top 10, it's not something you can do every tour unless you're just a beast. People like Auto Drift and others that can do it every tour, that's insane. But every once in a while, you need a break. You need to recoup resources and then go back at it. You're one of those people. So congratulations, great job. We also have RonnieCash, who's been going pretty hard into the All Cup ranking as well. Tell the sorry, Nathalie, maybe I'll go back to you. Tell the community where you're calling from and how you got started Mario Kart Tour.
I'm calling from Denmark, and I got started like I'm a day 1 player. Been taking on and off breaks from the game, but now I'm back. I've been back the last year and continue enjoying it.
Awesome. Sorry, Ronnie, didn't mean to cut you off there, but tell the community about where you're calling from and how you got started in the game and anything else you think would be helpful to add, maybe around All Cup ranking.
So I'm calling from good old Norwich in the UK. The best part of the UK, I'll add as well. Sorry, yeah, I've been playing since the London tour. I think it was the first one, and been playing every day since then. I still enjoy the game, and I've been going pretty heavy in All Cup ranking. I used to just do the 1000s, and then since the Sunday tour, I've had 8 top 100s, and it's got progressively easier as I've spent more on the game. But also, I enjoy all the sort of technical side of things, like spending a day or 2 looking at my loadouts, and then looking at the Turtle's ticket optimizer and looking where I can spend those tickets, and if it makes sense for me, then going for it. So yeah, I know I've really enjoyed that side of things, and it's good to push myself. Absolutely enjoy it still. I know there's a bit of negativity, I feel, within certain strands of the community about it, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying the new courses that come out every 2 weeks, and I'm going to be there till the end, I think. So enjoying it.
Until they kick us off this game. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about All Cup ranking. We'll talk a little bit about things coming up in this upcoming tour. We got the Dry Ruins. We have Ninja Tour coming back. We got a lot of fun stuff that we'll be talking about. But before we get any further, I did want to jump into an icebreaker. So today's icebreaker is, what is your favorite Shy Guy alt? So we have now so many Shy Guys. I know when we talk about player character diversity, we get people a little heated. You know, we had a period where we had so many Peaches back to back to back. We've always had a lot of Marios. Last year seemed to have a lot of Luigis, which I think RonnieCash was really excited about. But throughout this whole entire time, Shy Guy, we've been getting alts for Shy Guy. So Shy Guy Kart, shout out to one of our members, and has his own channel. Definitely check him out. Has been absolutely crushing it with all of his favorite alts of his favorite drivers. So, you know, we got Shy Guy Ninjas. We got Geez, a variety of Shy Guys, every color you can imagine under the rainbow. We have Explorer, etc. So the question is, what's your favorite Shy Guy? What's your favorite color? Your favorite alt? Your favorite? It doesn't necessarily have to be just Mario Kart Tour, which I think SMBros, as we were prepping for the call, you have an interesting answer for your favorite Shy Guy of all time.
Yes. And we've been talking about it, and we actually came up with a number of different Shy Guys. The sword being, for one, the Shy Guy we like because of his mysterious background. Like, just what is behind them? Nobody would know. Absolutely no one. And then there's the Studfit, which I find to be kind of interesting because aside from the bullet bill cannons, snippets are like the only Mario animates that actually come with like an endless supply of cannonballs.
It's true. My guess is probably some
nasty.
maybe Jason Voorhees or some Mike Myers or something. It's got to be one or the other. That's what, or maybe Danny DeVito since he's so short, something like that, you know. So what's your favorite alt then?
I would have, for Mario Kart Tour, I would have to go with the Lucky 7 Explorer Shy.
The light blue.
That's the one. I'm like,
yeah, man.
Like I've actually been using them quite a bit for online races, and like he's a monster when he's dominating. So
I like his crystals in the back. Yeah, I think he looks pretty cool. I think they did a pretty good job. The thing is that they have two of them. It looks, yeah, he's got little crystals in the back, and yeah, it's interesting. But they have two different colors. I don't know. It seems like they just kind of giving us like extra versions of him because it's easier for them to just add some like crystals and a pitchfork and then just call it a day. I don't know. To me, it's kind of lazy. RonnieCash, obviously coming out of last year's Luigi 2022. What's your favorite
year, Luigi? Luigi time.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
So I haven't actually invested heavily into any of them. I think my highest one is probably the pink Shy Guy, but I know using him on one of the Shy Guy Bazaars, I really enjoy. Giant banana on there. Any narrow course with him on is a dream. So I've got to go with him. My friend Sol is a real heavy investor in those and loves them, and Crazy as well is a fan. So I've got to shout out those two people. Yeah, probably pink Shy Guy. I know you guys like him as well. I also did really love Ninja's introduction when he first came out, and I know I was more hyped for him than Gold Gringles or Gold Bob-on, but actually, yeah, no, I've got to say Pink Ninja. That's my final answer. I'm going to stick with that.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. Nathalie, what's your favorite Shy Guy alt of all time?
I think it's just the regular Shy Guy Ninja. Been helping me a lot. But if I go with like color, I think just the pink Shy Guy, it's cute.
With the heart. Yeah.
Good in multiplayer too as well.
No, for sure. I like that. The OG pink. I like it, man. Karim, what's your favorite Shy Guy of all time?
Well, so like when I was thinking of Shy Guys, I was thinking back to Super Mario Brothers 2, where I think maybe that was the first time we saw a Shy Guy. But in MKT, none of them. I mean, the gold one looks really, really cool. It's a shame he's useless. The Pink Ninja, I think he's the one I've had the most fun with. I know obviously Ninja with Boomerang was the first, high-end sort of Boomerang, and that was really, really cool. But I didn't get boomboxing at all at that point. Still don't, to be honest with you. And of course, in multiplayer, then of course there's just normal Pink Ninja. So as you can see, I've really narrowed it down to one specific one there. Yeah.
So you, with all of your top 10 performances, you stay away from Boomerang drivers.
I'm beginning to move in the opposite direction. I did because of the time, but they're increasingly, I'm finding tracks where even forget me's and forget that you know, Boomerang has the potential to gain 50 actions above anything else, and they get a lot of tracks. So I've taken Space Toad to, you know, 8 triple caps. Is the only other I've got PT Me, you know, quad caps and Bronze Me at 8 triple cap, because when they've got a track that doesn't have a coin box, they're just there's been a few ranked cups where I've on one track got 12,000 more than anybody else, because no one else had that driver at the time. Their potential is so high that if you want to combat the Mies, I can only see Boomerang and Coinbox being able to do that. I don't see anything else, but Giant Banana may, but not really. So, yeah.
Yeah, good point there. Well, I appreciate the icebreaker. That was a good way to start. I'll keep the conversation going, kind of thinking to this tour specifically. We have the Mario Tour. We got all these Mario circuits. It's all over the place. I'm sure, Nathalie, you're exhausted from grinding all these. I'm not a big Mario circuit, like all these different variations. I liked the old Mario circuit back in the day, but I mean, it's 2023. I'm kind of over them. I've also, I think my first top 10 run back, I guess now 2 years ago, was during a Mario Tour. I got really burnt out on a lot of those tracks. It's not, I mean, there are some interesting parts where you have, you know, some mushroom areas you can kind of jump through, but I'm kind of over them. What's your thoughts on Mario circuits in general? What do you think specifically about, and again, I'll make an exception for like this, the DS Mario circuit, and that the other one with the castle in the background. Like I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for those tracks. But what's your thoughts on grinding all these Mario circuits, Nathalie?
It's tough. Yeah, also because only 2 item boxes. Luckily, I have boombox, a couple of them, so it's like just boombox first box, and then hopefully a coin fence, and then that's it, you know. Because it's like hard with those, like when it's shorter tracks, I prefer boomerang characters.
So you're not a double boomboxer, and if some people, I'm sure even, and Ronnie, I think you've mentioned this a couple of times, go for the double boombox, and that just seems like high risk, high reward for sure. But I mean, like I feel like unless you've already hit all your tracks and you're just trying to, like, you know, you're just bored, which I feel like never happens. Double boombox seems like nearly impossible. Is that something you ever go for?
Oh, I have gotten them this tour, but I think as Karim can speak for, he knows how much I love boomboxing, which is I hate boomboxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not,
you know,
like,
it's love or hate.
Yeah, I think it's a waste of my time.
All right. Well, hey, that's interesting to hear from 2 top performers. That's boomboxing. Maybe, and I assume it's because it's too time conducive or takes up too much of your time to focus on getting all these other tracks. I assume that's what it's got to be, because I think if you're going for now 15 cups times 3, you know, with three tracks per cup, you just don't have enough time to get all these boomboxes in. But for ranked, maybe for those people who that's all they focus on, boombox, you know, maybe that's an every tour thing. I know that there are others like Raker and others that just love boombox, and they just get boombox all the time. I don't know how they do it.
It's boombox, single box, boombox, and then hoping for a coin. I just don't understand.
No, yeah, it takes so much time, and it's so annoying when you have like a single, like you can see the coin box have a box, and you have like a single boomerang. Either you lose it by getting hit, or they don't use the item box, and then you're like, great.
Yeah,
So
it's so dependent upon the lobby. Yeah, how often they have boxes, how often you're getting frenzies. If that's happening, it can actually be a lot of fun. Like when we had Shroom Ridge, and I got a really good lock, it was actually a lot of fun, and I would get like a boom box and then like a single box and like a mushroom, and then I'd go back in because I felt I could get more. There's other ones where yeah, as I always describe it, you know, and Edith often says it is worse than pulling teeth. It's just, yeah, so hit and miss.
but then again, the pain of it, it's like so worth it when you actually get the boombox, like the one, like just seeing the action count go like up, and it's like so.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
It's quite a high, but the lows are so low so many times. I followed your footsteps there, Karim. Quad capped my level 8 PD my meaty, and man, there are some times where like that Peach Gardens where I was like, man, that was a fun boombox coin. I wonder if I could get like, more. I wonder if I could get like a single boombox in there, maybe an extra banana, because it was just so fun. And I think that's the kind of thing where it's like when, especially right after you're like, oh man, that was so awesome. I could probably do that again. And then like an hour later, you're like, no, probably shouldn't have tried to do that again. But no, I like that. Now, obviously this tour, another big hot topic is King Mario. King Mario came back. What do you guys think about that? I know, Karim, you had quite a love-hate relationship with King Mario. Well, we'll start with you, man. What's your thoughts on King Mario coming back?
I was a little bit disappointed because obviously the fact that I had to spend so many rubies to get him. I don't hate King Mario. It's Mario Aviator is the one I detest. That I got, to level 7. For people who don't know, I really thought that they had. I mean, that was a Santa that I missed out on. Went a whole year without being re-released, and I missed out on him. I thought there was an opportunity to, and I'm not just saying this because I had him. I mean, we all know that he's not had the best coverage, best start and whatnot, but there was an opportunity to have a character that was to create something a little bit different, a bit of mystique around him. He does look very, very cool. And he could follow a buffing cycle unlike anything else, maybe a gold me, but just different, and I feel by releasing him that they've just taken all that away, and now he's just, I don't know, he'll have a few good tracks and then he'll end up like Tuxedo. Well, maybe not this tour, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah. I think they kind of, in my opinion, missed a little trick there. But hey, for all those people who didn't pull or who spent a bunch of rubies, didn't get him, I can obviously, I feel, good for them, because that must have hurt for those who went in hard and didn't get him. That must have stung.
Yeah, I can see him as Mario Tuxedo 2.0. And it would have been nice to have some exclusivity, but that's obviously not the way they went. SMBros, did you end up pulling them, or what's your King Mario situation?
Okay, so before this tour, I did not have King Mario at all. So when I
you don't?
At the beginning of the tour, I didn't, but it was just one look at them and it's like, oh my gosh, I've got to get him. and so I visited a bunch of rubies, actually got him, brought him up to like at a level 3 or level 4. Can't really remember which. I think I have him single capped, and while I used him a bit last week, unfortunately that was not enough to get me that rainbow pipe buggy, or what it's called, the rainbow pipe buggy, or that green free running Koopa. And I think, and going back to what we were just talking about with the Mario circuits, yes, there's not a lot of I feel as though the boxes are spaced a bit too far apart to actually keep a good coin box combo going, if possible. So,
yeah, I'm with you there.
I think that was what did me in last week.
I can see that for sure. Yeah, for that rank track, could have been tough to try to use him. Ronnie, what's your King Mario situation, man?
He's staying in the trash pile for me. I don't actually need him. Like I looked at his coverage. Like he would bring me some of those Shroom Ridges. I've forgotten which one he has now, but I know that at some point I'll probably use a me there or something like that. And he just doesn't do enough for me to spend my hard-earned rubies. And actually, I'm looking at going. I've taken this tour off, and I think he's only showing 4 times. I think he's only got like 4 tracks this tour, which I thought he would get way more. Like this is like his tour again, and he hasn't got that many appearances from what I can gather. They didn't even have Cookie Land, which surprises me because that's like his best course, I would feel, for a lot of you guys, because Coinbucks there is like ridiculous. But yeah, I feel like I don't need him, and I do like his look. Like, he's got some major style, a bit like my shirt here. I'm looking at what to invest in next tour. Like, I wouldn't need to bring him at this tour, and I'm not sure how many tracks. I should be paying a bit more attention to the rundown, like how many tracks I've got left. But he hasn't got a huge amount left from what I can gather. And I've missed his like main buffing cycle. He's had like 6 months out. So my counterpoint is actually the people that have had him have had 6 months of exclusivity, even if it is city tours. And I feel like they've had their time. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it for the amount of rubies they spent, but I feel like, yeah, there was people clamoring for him, and this was Nintendo's way of like cashing in and hoping people would be spending those rubies. And then but yeah, I don't need him, long story short, and I'm looking for next tour, like what I can spend my rubies on there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think driver level tickets are just so rare. And I think just wasting it on a non-me like King Mario for, you know, as little limited values he'd bring to your account, it's really hard to justify it. Now, for some, I think, especially for a lot of us who are pot committed, you know, it's kind of that the sunken value or sunken cost fallacy, where we already feel like we've invested so much just in our rubies that we feel like we have to level them up. I will say, you know, I had him at level 7, double uncapped, which I do that's kind of like my thing to do with these like side characters. So I did that like with Toad, Astronaut, and I've done that with some of the I have lucky 7s and stuff. So I think when it comes to King Mario, I don't think I'll take him to level 8 or triple uncap him anytime. But one thing I did do is I did buy him at 105 rubies, even having him at level 7, just because those driver level tickets are so valuable. For me, it's like I know that I could get a driver level ticket for, you know, 3 coin rushes for 75 rubies. But I mean, at this point in time, I'll take as many driver tickets as I can possibly get, and I'll do whatever I can to get them. So for me, paying the extra, you know, 30 ruby price was well worth it to be able to make sure that I had an extra high-end level ticket, because we have Mii's coming out left and right, and so many other things going on. It's nearly impossible. Now, Ronnie, you mentioned about Cookie Land, and that obviously being King Mario's best track. There's no doubt about that. I mean, anytime you have a coin boxer, it's massive. In fact, this battle track 1 that we had in ranked, I took Classic Luigi of your gang, and I took him to level 8. Karim, I know you were looking at my daily selects. I finally did it. I put 2 tickets on him to take him to level 8. And you know what? I still left about 10,000 points out there. I mean, the battle track 1 is by far the least favorite battle track. But want to hear your opinion on the very, very notorious fact that battle mode was in ranked again. What was your thought process, everyone, when it came to having battle mode in ranked again? You love it? You hate it? How did it grow on you?
I don't know whether I need to bring up the special strat that came up, maybe.
Maybe that was a good time to bring that up.
Yeah, I was just thinking. So I know Crazy won't mind me saying this, but he released a video because he does his ranked runs now, and he uploads them, and then I watch them, and I think I've got no skill whatsoever. But anyway, one of those things was you can invite as many friends as you want into a room. You choose like 3 balloons, and then everybody else chooses a coin boxer bot, and then a coin boxer character, and then you just try for as many like boom boxes in there as possible, and you can rack up some actions. And I don't think it's quite the same as the shrooming trick, because you don't get the obscene amount of points, and there's only like 2 tracks that you can do on this tour. But I do feel like there's been quite a lot of controversy around it. I know in the ACR bot server there was lots of talk about it and whether it's cheating or not. But yeah, I think it was an interesting ranked. I didn't actually need to use that strategy. I don't know whether I would anyway, but yeah, no, I hate battles and ranks. They're, especially with boomerang drivers, they're horrendous to drive. So I'm glad I didn't. I didn't need to use that strategy. I don't have enough friends to actually do that.
You have to have friends to do that, right?
Yeah.
No, good point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna. So I actually found out about it after rank had finished. But so I was struggling so badly. I actually double capped Luigi Classic. And then didn't end up using him because I chatted with Danny Danny, who's like
Danny.
yeah,
one of your players. Yep.
Yeah, and I noticed his score. I've got him on my friends list, and I was like, how is he getting these scores? And he basically just said, look, what you do is you first or second box, you just go into the middle with a boomerang frenzy, and there'll be about 5 or 6 bots there, which you hit 5, 6 times, and then they each drop 5 coins. And so from there, you're starting off at about 45 actions roughly to 50, and then just go nuts, and hopefully you get, and I managed to get like 140 well-fought bonus, which got me 60,000. So which was enough for me for ranked, and that was great. I then discovered this a bit like the streaming thing. I thought it was a novelty. I thought it was quite funny. I saw Carlos's video, and while it's not quite as controversial as the streaming thing, first of all, I think we all agree battles just shouldn't be in. I don't think it should be in ACR. Definitely shouldn't be in ranked. Yep. I think it's. I wouldn't necessarily call it as much cheating. I just think it's a bit like, in golf when you say it's against the integrity of the game. Like I don't think it fits well. I did it because I'm going for top 10 as well, and so just like I did with the streaming thing, I'm like, if everyone else is doing it, I'm not going to sacrifice that for that reason. But I wrote a ticket to Nintendo, and I said, look, I don't think this is what you probably intended. If it is, then hey, let us know. Then okay, then go for it, no problem. It just doesn't sit well with me. But yeah, it is quite fun when you're just boomeranging and there's just so many coins around. It is a bit of a laugh. Just take it out of ACR and ranked especially.
Yeah, how about you, Natalie? Is that coming into your strategy this tour as well?
I did it a little bit, but not that much. I've been going for the well fought bonus, doing it because on the first week's rank track, I think I got 169 with well fought, and then I was like, okay, let me try to get over 200. And then, I did it myself, got over 200, got 212, but I was actually like a couple of 100 points below. So I'm like, what should I do? Should I go for well fought or should I go for actions? It's like the tricky question, because I'm like, with well fought, you can get so much more over, as we've seen, the first time. Who was it? Was it Ivan who got like a crazy score one time?
Yeah.
We were like, wow, 200 and well fought. It was like insane. So it's like, you want that, but I'm like, how do I get this with green shell and bananas? Like, I hit myself with my green shell, like.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. And Ivan's I got a couple world records in January, and February. He's a beast. One of the premier players as well. SMBros, what's your thoughts on battle mode, especially in ranked? I mean, how easy or hard was it for you? Did you go for well fought, or what was your strategy?
Okay, so what I did for the battle modes is just well, for me, when it comes to battle modes, and going from my experience from the console market 8 Lux, it's just all about trying to survive. That's all there's to it. I don't even try to worry about combo at first. Just try to survive, and then like once I feel confident, only then do I actually go and try to go for the combos.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think I personally agree with you, Karim. I don't think there's any reason why battle mode should be in ranked, let alone all cup ranking. It is what it is. I think I had a bigger issue with shrooming, because it's like, you know, there's nowhere in this game where it's like actually we're getting, you know, triple mushrooms is like a meta strategy. Whereas I think like with battle mode, the boomboxing is like a part of the general strategy. It's just like, this is kind of a, you know, a way to artificially replicate that, which is fine, but at least it's a part of the game. Like they're just taking what exists in the game and kind of taking advantage of certain things. Compared to shrooming, it's like, you know, okay, this is an obvious oversight from Nintendo. There's got to be a quick fix. So I don't know if they'll fix it. I don't know if they'll adjust it. I don't know what the future will hold.
Then they should do so. The scores you get in multiplayer, because I know some people also do it with boombox and normal tracks. They should not be included in the ACR scores. Like then it's like okay, you can do this in multiplayer, but it will not be counted towards your ACR score.
I think that's a fix that they could do. You know, it's interesting. I remember the first day of every tour, we would go and get the grand stars from multiplayer. Like that's my favorite part, is just like going through and getting all the tracks and then opening it up and having finished all the cups and everything. Yeah, those days. Now they make everything random. So when you go into multiplayer, it's like, you know, they'll do this cup over here and this cup over here. So they kind of knew what we were doing and kind of found a way, but they didn't address the real problem, which is the fact that, hey, when you're in multiplayer, you shouldn't get points. You shouldn't get, you know, scores in all cup ranking. But, you know, if they didn't fix it then, I don't think they'll fix it now. That's my opinion. Who knows? Nintendo finds weird ways to solve their problems. I don't know how it'll go forward, but you know, I agree with you, Karim. I don't think it's cheating. I do think it's kind of, you know, taking advantage of you know, what the integrity of the game. But you know, at this point in time, you know, if you got to win ranked, you got to win ranked, and you know, unless I think like with ER, one of the reasons that we are against letting people use multiple people using the same account is because it gives an unfair advantage to people where, you know, the game could be played 24/7, and I don't think that's fair. And so I think for us, the thought process is, hey, if one person in ER has multiple people using the same account, then you can call into question everyone who's ever gotten top 10, you know, in ER, and that's not what we want to be. And so I think at this point in time, like that was our main concern, is like, you know, calling into question people who've earned top 10 in their own right. And so from that respect, I don't think this multiplayer issue is the same thing. I don't think, you know, it calls into question other people's performance in ER. So there's no rules, at least if you're curious about how ER is handling it, there are no rules against it, but I don't think it gives someone an unfair advantage across all cup ranking. And I think from that perspective, that's our stance. But you know, at the same point in time, I've never done it before. I don't really need to do it. It's not something that, but I can see it being in top 10, going for top 10, and everyone else in the top 10 is doing it. Man, it's hard to argue with that. That's tough. That puts you in a real tough position where just to keep up and just to be able to play the game how it's intended, you have to do something that everyone else is doing. I think that's Nintendo's fault, and hopefully they fix it. But we'll see. They probably won't.
It was like that when So it was like that when the swimming happened, you know, because like when I go for top 10, I'm saving for months. And it was actually in that tour where I had saved all my tickets and spent it before. And then this with the swimming came out. And then I was like, oh, if I'm going to get top 100, top 10, I need to do this, even though I didn't want to do it, you know, because I felt like this is not how the game is played, you know. Now this is again like if it's 10k difference between you and the other people in like rank or in ACR, it's a lot of points in the end. It's like sad.
It's a big deal. Yeah, every point matters when you're going for top 10. That's for sure.
Hey, Studfit, I wanted to ask, how did your ranks go first week? Didn't you have some tough competition?
I did. I walked away in second place thanks to a Taylor Swift fan. In fact, oh, you know what? She's here in this in the podcast, Nathalie. Nathalie kicked my butt in ranked. It wasn't even worth going for it. I didn't. Again, it's one of the reasons why I left 10K on the table. It wasn't even. I think even if I got that, I still would have lost by another 10K. So congratulations to Nathalie, who whipped my booty at some ranked. Congratulations.
You wished for it. I saw your reaction.
Oh, I didn't wish for it, but I said, let's go, don't hold back. And by all means,
I warned you. I said, watch out, mate.
Well, they warned me. They said, you know that Nathalie's a sleeper when it comes to rank. She's when she's going for top 10, she focuses on all the tracks she doesn't need to improve on, and she might get to ranked on Tuesday. And so go for their best early on. And Nathalie and I talked. She's like, hey, what do you think you're going to get? I'm like, probably 160. She's like, okay. And then like an hour later, she was like at like 175 or something ridiculous. I was like, okay, all right,
Yeah,
I get it. I
two
see how it is.
tracks before.
But it's funny. They keep saying that second is the new first, so I got to experience that personally, and I didn't miss out too much on the 5 rubies. Could just easily get those anyway. But yeah, congratulations, Nathalie. Appreciate you rubbing that in, Karim. That's awesome. Good. All right, so we wrapped up this tour. Still want to get into some other topics, but let's start on the tour because again, we have some news to discuss and some other topics as well. I want to get into the next tour. We have this Dry Ruins, which is a classic track brought back into Mario Kart. Now, here's the thing. They smashed it with some Ninja Tour as well. So, and then on top of that, we have some kind of like spring celebration. It doesn't seem to be a 3.5 year celebration. So let's get into all this. First of all, who remembers Dry Ruins? What can you tell us about the track? What's your favorite parts? And I think maybe we'll start with you, SMBros.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like growing up with Mario Kart Dry Ruins is definitely a memorable track with Rush. I'm not just for the how the track is laid out, aesthetic and everything, but music ties it all in as well. Like just driving around and you hear the the instruments playing around, it makes you feel like you're actually going through a desert ruin. And then inside the ruins, just that one big room, like literally before the exit, each lap that passes, more and more sand comes down. It starts off with a small up, but at the final lap, it gets to be like a massive sand amount. It's just ridiculous. Really,
it looks like a fun track. Yeah. What other comments do we have from the guests here about Dry Ruins? Anyone else remember it from the Wii days?
I'm just watching a YouTube clip of it, so I'll get back to you in a second.
I'll be honest with you. Some of the Wii tracks that we've seen in Mario Kart Tour have been some of my favorite. When I'm thinking about Maple Treeway, they're just like longer tracks. They're kind of fun. They have some half pipes. What's your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I think that I'm young, I like younger. So like I grew up with with the Wii, and it was like so fun to play with your friends and like see them again, playing them on like the phone. It's so different, but also so fun because it's long and the track and they're really beautiful. I think Wii was one of the best games. And see them coming into here, it's really great.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was going to say, well, back in my generation, when we used to, put the coal in and set up the fire and, manage to get electricity to the game. I personally, it's funny, like I played every Mario Kart game, maybe not like a handheld, but like as in like a DS or something. But I remember, sorry, mate?
Console game?
Yeah, so
like
all the consoles, exactly. I've done all the consoles, including Mario Kart Wii. I remember I was living in Beirut, Lebanon at the time, and I completed it. And I remember fighting hard to get all the stars on every track and all that. And you know what? I can remember like half the levels, barely. I remember Double Dash so well. I remember Mario Kart 8 Deluxe so well. Wii, for whatever reason. But yeah, when you mentioned the levels, like I really enjoy Coconut Mall. A lot of the Wii levels I really enjoy. It so happened that when it came out, I was around the age of 21, 22, and certain things just sort of got in the way of my memory, and I can't remember a whole lot about it, I'll be honest with you. So I'm looking forward to, seeing what it's all about again. Hopefully it will jog my memory, because I honestly haven't got a clue, but I know I've played it.
Yeah, no, it should be a fun time. I was definitely expecting one of the first desert tracks, this like true desert tracks in Mario Kart Tour, to be Cairo. I was expecting us to go to Egypt, man, but
So true.
Still have not gone to Egypt. Do you think that'll ever happen?
I can't remember how many cities have been like. I think the data miners are able to see how many cities are left, and I think it's quite a small number. They can obviously add more, but I think there's maybe one or two. I might be completely making that up, but I think there's not a huge amount, and I feel like now that they've brought in this track, there'll be other places that they might want to try.
Well, we know Norwich is going to be in there, and what else? Norwich and...
Oh yeah. No, through the cathedral, through Carroll Road, and
yeah.
It might not be Cairo. It could be somewhere out there in the big Sahara Desert, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Timbuktu.
Pyramid.
Well, yeah, I was mainly referring to on that home screen back in the day. They used to have
the pyramid. The pyramid on it. I couldn't agree with you more. It would make so much sense. We've been calling for it for longer than we called for Bangkok. That came. It would. The only other thing I would like is another English track, because London is just terrible.
Yeah, I really hope they release more city tracks, because even though we hate cities, because they're but it's so fun to hate to invest in city tracks, but they're so fun to drive and see other countries and be wow, this is so beautiful. I like the Amsterdam tracks a lot. They were really beautiful.
Yeah,
especially in the Push to Course Pass. I've never seen Amsterdam and Singapore. Singapore is another good track that's recorded over. That thing is just banger.
That's my favorite Singapore. That's a quality track. Yeah.
The fact that it's slapped and sectioned. Who would have thought? Nintendo.
Who would have thought?
Round of applause to you.
Round of applause. Yeah, it's interesting because that's why we got into the game, is we, being stuck in our home during the pandemic, we were we're kind of living vicariously, kind of traveling the world. Singapore was not on my bucket list of places I was going to travel, but now it is. Now I'm I got to go to Singapore one day, just and see the building, see the atmosphere, just kind of get in with the vibe. And I know they're pretty advanced in technology, and they're pretty, they're not from a civilization perspective, they're actually probably advanced even, compared to many of us, well far ahead, just because of how technology forward they are. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about
driving on top of the rooftop.
Don't chew gum.
Yeah, the rooftops. What's that?
I think there's some law.
Don't go tempted to go driving on top of those rooftops if you go down to Singapore and realize.
You know what, SMBros, I'll have to remember that. I will not drive my car on top of buildings. It'll be tough to resist. I'm sure some police will. What's up? But yeah, I think you're right, Karim. I think there are some laws against chewing gum. Which, by the way, in case anyone ever wanted to know, I have a gum. I'm infatuated with gum. I have in case you're curious, I have gum that I chew all day long. That's instead of candy, it's just this little extra ice cubes.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, I chain chew them. I go through one of those.
Ice cube. Talk about a whole new ice cream.
So I would be destined to get arrested in Singapore. There's no doubt.
That's where that jawline comes from.
I guess so. It's probably why my cheeks up here are so swollen.
No, you can see it in the teeth.
My wife also says that the aspartame that's in gum helps, or it reduces your memory or something. So I probably am gonna have amnesia or some kind of Alzheimer's by the time I'm 50 years old. Who knows? I'll be some kind of test result there. But anyway, yeah, I'm totally not do well in Singapore. Thanks to that gum addiction that I have there. But yeah, no, I think overall, we're excited to one day get a Cairo. I think we will get it. Well, it's one of the last tricks that Nintendo has. But let's get back to Dry Ruins. I mean, it looks pretty cool with this this Pokey Me. Obviously, he's got this semi-plus skill with the triple bananas. And we've been talking for the last, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 tours that the non-plus skill Miis have finally hit that tipping point where it makes sense to invest in not top skill Miis. I followed your suit, Karim. I invested a little bit into the cat Mii suit just because that Super Bell is kind of on that fringe. But with that being said, does that make a triple banana Mii suit a must invest in? Or assuming it gets just like 2 or 3 nice good tracks where maybe it's hard to cover, are you going all in?
No, not at all. As far as I'm concerned, Bell or triple banana, they are non-plus skilled. They might as well be bubble as far as I'm front running. I'm going for, I mean, I guess maybe, triple banana, but that has no sway in my decision. I'm going for double, triple coin, whatever it may be. And on that respect, it's down to coverage. So I go onto my BAM and GURBS, I remove all the Miis and potentially the coin boxes and stuff. And then I look at what has the most tracks. And I saw, obviously, it was between Cat Me and it was the light blue Shy Guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I could spend 1 cap ticket or spend 16 and get like the same actions. And I also know with light blue Shy Guy that he's going other tracks he's going to be on. I'm going to have something else that's going to cover it. So that's why I felt it's a shame. But Lucky 7 to me, as I said, it's of no consequence anymore unless it's with a Mii suit, which is really it is a real shame. So the skill to me is irrelevant. A bit, I take him just the same way as I would take Spike last tour. I will see how his coverage turns out, and I may well feel inclined, but the skill to me has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, what else are you guys' thoughts about this Pokey Me? I think he's someone you'll invest in even if you're a little bit far removed from the Karim Me situation.
I know that for instance, this week there's Luigi Waystray, and unless you have Space Toad, then a lot of people have decided let's go into the purple Me or whatever other Miis are on that track, because it's just spending that single cap ticket gets you like up to, I don't know, over 1,300 points. Like it's a no-brainer now, really. And I've got Dr. Luigi there, which is horrendous. But I'm still using him because he's at a decent level. But if I didn't have that option, and I don't have Space Toad yet, although I think he's coming back next tour, so that'll be good. But yeah, I'm at the same stage where it's either going to be a Me now or Coinbox or Boomerang. Like there's no other options. I picked up the Shy Guy, and I haven't put any tickets on him. I don't see myself doing that. There's the potential for the other 2 skills and the Miis is just too much now. They're so overpowered, the Miis, and the cover. I'm assuming a lot of our coverage is pretty good now, so you only need like 1 or 2 tracks to cover. So for us, having a Me there and not spending as many tickets on it is going to be the way forward, I think. So yeah, if I think I'm going for top 100 again next tour, because it looks like a good, even though it's weird like concept with the like desert and then ninjas, but I think it's got a good track selection just looking at the trailer. So I think I'll go for it. And then if the Pokey gives me like, I don't know how many tracks on debut, then I'll go for it and see what happens. But who knows? But yeah, Miis is the way forward, I think.
And there are 100 rubies. So it's just we keep saying there are 100 rubies.
Yeah.
I also think the interesting part of like coverage is like the Mii, even though you cannot consider that, but the Miis get cup boosted on every first track of the cup. So it's like, okay, normally I don't have anything but gold Miis here, like another Mii. So like those extra stuff they get are also just super important, like the cup boost makes a big difference.
Yeah. So in case for those newer players, not only does it get cup boosted, meaning the Mii Cup, everyone moves from a second shelf favorite track to a top shelf favorite track, but then also the first of the 3 cups, so the top left corner track of every single cup, out of all 15 cups, something could move from that middle shelf to the top shelf, or at least move from a bottom shelf to a middle shelf if it's on that bottom, if it's not a favorite track. So yeah, there's always the chance it's a crapshoot, you know, and I think at this point in time, you just want as many lottery tickets as possible, and that's what each lottery ticket is, a Misu. And I think the Misuits have taken over. We'll see what happens. I think everyone's, or at least the community, still feels like there's going to be a cap somewhere, but we're at wave 29. We're one wave away from 30.
I said that 3 months ago. Just as you were mentioning, this is something I only learned recently, is that when you're boomboxing and you're looking at your middle shelf, if the coin boxer has been boosted from the bottom shelf to the middle shelf, I do believe that you can't get him in the lobby. I might be wrong on that, but if that's the case, you know, I spent ages trying to get a lobby, and there was gold me and question block me. I'm like, why will they not appear in my lobby? And some people might not know that. So if you are looking out for a coin boxer middle shelf, that's something to consider.
Yeah, I'm understanding that is the truth to that, is that yeah, although they're showing up on that second shelf, they will not be at a higher rate, nor will they have 2 items. So from what I understand is that drivers that are on that second shelf collect 2 items when they go through an item box. And from what I'm told is that they only collect 1 item, and they're at the normal rate of everything else that could be on that bottom shelf. They could show up, but not at a frequent rate of the other coin box drivers on the second shelf. So you just have to ignore them. If you see one, that's great, but it's just like anything else that they could have randomly showed up. Yeah,
pretty
good
much
point
like a
there for
gamble.
those who didn't know that. What was that, SMBros?
It's pretty much like a gamble almost. You'll never know what you're gonna get until the race actually loads up and you see the drivers.
Yeah, I mean, half that RNG is just trying to make sure to get the right lobby. I know, like with this toad track on the Luigi Raceway RT, I just been I'll get it, so I grind a little bit of the badges, but not too many, and then I'll just quit and then open it up again and then quit, like not hard quit, but like actually push the little gear button and then click quit. And if you grind out some of the bots, oftentimes the badges, the same kind of general range of badge bots show up again. And so sometimes, like if we grind it, maybe you run it 3 or 4 times, and then you start kind of quitting and starting it over again. That's all I'll do. And then typically maybe I'll have 1 or 2 less badges than I normally would if I were to do that at the beginning. But for me, it's like I with Boomerang, I'd rather take an extra badge or 2 than have in exchange for having a second coin box. And I'm just not gonna do it the old-fashioned way of just keep going. I know. What's your thoughts though? Do you guys grind out badges when it comes to boomboxing, or do you leave them?
Go ahead, Ronnie.
No.
Oh yeah. So because I do it quite a lot. Like I think the reason I didn't do it this tour is I had 17 boombox tracks, which was a bit too much.
Wow.
And Mario circuits as well. So I'm like, no, thank you. Every track seems the same, like boomerang wise. So but for me, like I try and get a badged coin boxer, and then hopefully like another one. And it doesn't have to be badged. It can be like a single item, like lower tier boxer which is normally the non-badged spot with like the weird names that with data mine. There's only like 111 names, and I think those ones are the ones that are. Say that again.
Yeah, there's a Studfit one out there too. I think that's last story.
So yeah, I try and get normally two coin boxes, and then go for it first box, and then normally I get smashed by the box, and then the bots, and then you're down in the lower places, and then you can hopefully get a second boom box if you want to go for that. So like last tour, I'm a bit of a sadist, and I did go for like I just tried to get the best percentages on all my boomerang tracks just to improve my skill there. So I did like the Peach Gardens and stuff, and I was aiming for at least a coin box, and then I quite like having a badgeless coin box spot, because they've only got 1 item, so like if they didn't get on their first one and they're in the front right, then you're like, I can just turn this off and I don't have to worry about it. Like I can just reset it again. So that's how I go for it. But yeah, if that makes sense.
No, I'd agree with that, because with the other ones that they're holding a banana, you've got to, you know, you want to take out the banana, hope maybe they've got another box behind it. I get that.
That was what was good with the badger spots, because a lot of people initially were like, oh, that's going to be terrible for boomerang. But actually, if you know they've only got one item and that one item can be a coin box, like you're more likely to get that item first thing, and then you can get through that quicker, and you can just reset your lobbies until you get one that has like a couple in. So
oh yeah, and they use it. I mean, do you remember Merry Merry Mountain? Like, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I think the general rule of thumb is, you know, sometimes you'll have a badge bot that isn't aggressive. Most of the time that they are, but I think just general, like you, at least for me, is like you'll typically you know, reset after the first box, and then you'll maybe go until like, you know, halfway through lap 1 or something, and usually if it's for me, it's like if that coin boxer is not leading the pack, that's not my lobby in general anyway. So, you know, for instance, like, yeah, you might be able to get that first box, but if you're not set up to get that first box, I typically will leave that lobby, even if they have a badge in their coin box. But for me, it's about like, who's that front runner? Who's the actual, because you always have it, every race has like one bot that is just leading the pack. It's always in the front. And so for me, it's like, I'm more focused on that than I am anything else.
Yeah, I do think with the try again button now, like I just keep, if I found a good lobby and it's the tuxedos in 8th, then I just keep resetting until he's at the front of the pack, and then you can just go from there. But so that's saved a lot of time. But yeah, no, it's definitely a grind. Like about 50% of my time is not actually getting the boombox. It's about getting the lobby and then setting it up and making sure you've got everything in place to set yourself out. So
why do you think like, if you take the proportion, the ratio of bots that stall at the beginning, it's 95% coin boxes. Like, that's got to be deliberate. So annoying.
It's 95%. I don't know about all that, but
at the beginning, not after you've grinded, at the beginning, how many times have you sat there with Meowser and, I don't know, Party Time Pauline, and one stalls and one just doesn't accelerate off the line? I'm sorry, that can't just be me.
No, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
Definitely a thing. Yeah. I don't know. There's oftentimes where you grind down the bots, and then there's like 3 or 4 of them that do that. But yeah, when you're first starting, I agree with that. More often than not, it does seem like to be a coin box start, which is just frustrating. I don't know if you can pinpoint it to anything that we can find in the data mine or anything to prove it. But yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, go to Sam and see if that's a thing. Sam 78-bit.
Nintendo are sadists, man. It's so obvious.
They want you to play more time playing the game. That's their thing. But yeah, it's a good point. Other things we're looking forward to next tour. I know we got this what was it? The drum cart. The Happy Mario type. Was it sort of the T?
Taiko.
Sammy love.
Sammy's in love with it. Obviously, as a drummer, he should be. But do you like that card? It looks like it's not going to be as big of a hitbox as maybe the Armored Rider or other kind of similar, style with the big wheels and ninja style. But what's your thoughts on other items? I know we also have a gold hop rod, and we also have a gold Boo masks. I mean, overall, to Natalie's point earlier, I love the tracks. It looks like it's going to be a fun tour just for All Cup ranking. But and here's the thing though, is you get this gold hop rod or something, and not that we're excited about gold items in general, but it's going to get all these Ninja Hideaway tracks, and then we're not going to see it for another 12 months, maybe 6 months, but at least 12 months. What's your thoughts though on items next tour?
I'm excited to see the new Shy Guy skill, like a coin, like a super will maybe get a coin box.
So it looks orange. Is that the consensus?
Is it
yeah.
super or is it a high end?
I think it's super.
It's gonna be a super rank rewards probably.
That would be pretty. a super with coin box. Hey, you know what? Why not? But it won't happen. But
No, I think he'll probably get some fire flower. I think.
Wait, was it gold? I saw it as gold, but I looked at it quick when I was at work at the bathroom. So I must admit I didn't look that much at it. Just quick. Isn't it gold?
No, I mean we do have a gold one. I personally think it is orange. If you look at the image where it's got the gold boom masks above it, and then it's got like the gold hop rod cart. You can see two gold things, and actually compared to the two gold, it kind of looks actually brown. So to me, I think it's only because up against like a shiny gold. You know how like dark tracks, you know, the same way like Pink Old Peach. If you use her on dark thing, she looks bright like fluorescent. And then you use her on like on a Shy Guy Bazaar, and she looks like a dark purple. So there's like a tint based on the track, and so I think based on that tint, he's definitely an orange. He looks like on that track he looks almost brownish compared to those gold items. So I do believe it is orange. I think I think even there has been some data mining on potentially being orange, but that's my guess. Is I don't believe that they would have two gold Shy Guys, one being the high end and one being the super. That would be really weird. We already have a yellow one, right? So,
but they have two pink ninja Shy Guys.
We have a yellow.
Okay, so what you're saying is like a high end. Well,
no.
You're saying a gold super and a gold high end. Do they do that anywhere else in the game?
Pink Shy Guy, or like Pink Shy Guy Ninja and Pink Shy Guy Super.
Yeah.
I think
the boom mask looks cool. The gold one, I like gold items, but I don't invest into them. But I think they look pretty.
They do look pretty. I agree with you there. I like the hop rods in general, as you can see.
Yeah.
One of my favorite is the Sakura hop rod, but I also like the dark hop rod as well. Dark hop rod looks beautiful. Jade's okay, but I love the fact that it'll be gold. I'm sure it'll be a gold pass reward. I don't think I'll invest in it, but it'll be fun to have. Be fun to grind the base points for about a day or so, and then probably never use it again. But that's beside the point. I mean, it's cool. We'll see. I mean, I think I would be curious to see if you invested in all the gold carts, like if you could have all the coverage and like just cover every track, like if you actually wanted to do it that way, that'd be pretty cool.
I think you'd have a better chance, way better chance, if you covered it with all the Hanafudas, for example. Gold carts, just apart from that bullet blaster, which unfortunately is just minute, and maybe the gold trickster potentially. Maybe I'm just waiting for the day when they come out with the gold off-roader, because who's going to be able to resist it?
Yeah.
I do think that the gold cart is going to be useless. I'm not going to go anywhere near it. As for the gold glider, they have a slightly more mixed, I could see it maybe, I could see it maybe not. I think back to the old school ones. I remember, obviously Gold Crane, back in the day, the Gold Glider, Star Shoot, and the gold, what is it? The gold, is it the gold token? Yeah, and also the gold, the cloud.
Super?
Yeah, gold super was
gold
good.
Super used to be pretty good.
Yeah, but what's the the clouds? The gold, like some people have
actually gold. They're like gold sunset balloons or whatever. I forgot the name.
So like, there's been some gold gliders that have actually done all right. And I do like the original boom masks and stuff, but they're certainly neither that I'm like going to jump on by any means. As for the Tycho, in terms of the size, I mean, do you remember what we were saying about the size of the what was it? Was it the Black Dozer? What was it in the Piranha?
Black Buggy?
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, it's the biggest cart we've ever seen. This is a new cart. It's ginormous. And it was the same cart. So until I'm like in that cart, I'm going to reserve judgment. It's about time we had a big cart. When was the last time we had a big cart?
Off-roader.
No, Crawley cart was there.
Oh yeah, the blue.
Oh yeah, Crawley. Yeah. My bad, Crawley. Yeah, that's true.
But actually, now with Crawley cart, I have a question. they released those before. It was called commemorative items, those that cost like, what is it, $4? But they're releasing it like 1 or 2 every tours. Do you guys buy all 3 of them or just one? What do you guys do?
Crawley, all 3, mate. Crawley, all 3.
Yeah, with Crawley, it was all 3. Some of them
Yeah.
I do get once, like that Rainbow Streetle. Even though it had pretty good coverage, I know that I'm not going to use it, so it just saved my money. For Karim, I could see him getting 3 of everything every single time, but maybe not. But for me, I just was like, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to. But the Crawley card was a no-brainer one. Now, here's the question: What do you guys think about these 8-bit commemorative items? So I did get the Goomba 3 times, and I'm rocking that. I did even buy the question block coin glider that's in week 2. I actually took that up to 6 single caps because it it's featured and ranked. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it, but what's your thoughts on all? Because you remember these 8-bit items, they've always been kind of these meta crushers, but we have like 4 this tour. So what do you guys think about all of these options? Do you invest in any of them? Do you invest in all of them? Do you kind of pick and choose? Goomba? Block?
Goomba's the one that I'm maybe thinking might well do something in terms of, obviously there was the gold challenge, the gold glider one.
The golden 8-bit super glider.
Yeah, but honestly, like at the moment, because of the amount of tracks that we get, it's just so hard. Okay, I'm speaking more here for myself because I've got pretty good coverage all around. So I understand that might be very different for other people, but from my perspective, things get spread around, and when you've got 4 things coming out at the same time, there's big overlap. I know this has been largely sort of discussed, so I'm more of a hold and wait, unless I'm staring, I'm going for pit crew chief and Studfit right on my tail, and I've just got to take it to level 8 or something weird like that. Otherwise, I'm prepared to be patient.
Yeah, I find it interesting because I'm going for top 10 this tour, but I was doing the ticket optimizer and coverage optimizer, and it's actually the 2 old 8-bits, the 8-bit, the green one up.
One up,
and the original 8-bit super mushroom. I actually invested into those 2 instead of the new 8-bit gliders that came out, because I think, as Karim said, the starting coverage is not that good on them. It's like, because they overlap too much. So it's going to be interesting to see like how they will move forwards, because they have been like the 8-bit Fireflower and the Bullet Blaster, they all have been great. So to see which one will actually be the best one of those 4 new ones.
It might not be that great. I mean, the old 8-bits are still, they're still so good. It doesn't matter like what track. I guarantee you. Okay, I don't want to guarantee, but of these, I'm assuming 3 or 4 tracks that are coming in, there's going to be an 8-bit one-up mushroom on like 3 tracks, and I'm going to be going again. Why have I not invested in this? Every call, it's just going to happen. I can guarantee you. It's the bane of my life. But I'm glad that my 8-bit super mushroom got its day. And Studfit, I didn't buy that glider, by the way. So just to let you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's made sense if you wanted to get it for the coins. Yeah, no, I completely understand. And we had an offline conversation about that. But I think honestly, 8-bit items just seem to be pretty strong. I think what's tough is that this tour, there's so many Mario Circus that they start with. It's like, I don't need that coverage, don't need that coverage. So it's going to be a wait and see approach with most of them. I think for me, it was like the Luigi Raceway RT, the rank track there. And then also the Mario Circuit. Like it's a double feature this week in ranked. And so for me, it's like, those are 2 tracks that I would have to cover anyway. And the way I approached, Donut Plains and Luigi Raceway. Both of those, they're my top options. So I think I was using glittering parasol at like level 5, and then I was using, I think I had the cream toe beam balloons at like level 2 on the Luigi. So for me, it covers at least 2 tracks, and so I didn't even look at the spreadsheet. I was like, 2 tracks on its starting coverage. I'll just go ahead and take that up. It looks cool. I actually like, that's one of the few 8-bit items that and the Goomba like take me back, right? It makes me reminds me of the actual old school Mario days. Whereas like some of them just kind of weird. Like I don't know. Even the Super Mushroom looks just kind of funky, but Fire Flower still looks pretty awesome. Can't go wrong there.
I think
Good
it's
guys.
also hard to say their like starting value because it's so much like really old tracks that's brought back, and a lot of us has like coverage. I'm also using a couple of super gliders this tour, and I'm going for top 10. So they have like they are already covered by really good gliders. So it's like, let's see next tour when maybe newer tracks are coming, which tracks will they get there?
Yeah, I think these gliders are more for like people trying to catch up. Rather than us with the really like long-standing accounts. Like these have been in since day like whatever, day 1 or whatever. So we should have good coverage. And I was talking about on a recent strat chat with the Frenzy fans, like I've been constantly harping on that these gold premium, which the boom mask might be the gold, they might be another one of these gold premium challenge card things. But I always think they're trash. And they might be trash for us because, again, like they've got quite a few old tracks a lot of the time. But for new people that need like coverage on 8 courses, like they might be really good. And they get the 4 gold pipes, like which may give them items that may help them. So they're rubbish for us, but for newer players, I think they are okay. But yeah, these ones, I normally try and get a commemorative each tour. And I did pick up the Super Mushroom 3 times to get it to 8 because it's such a strong glider, but like I haven't bought any of the new ones because their overlap is insane with what I've already got. So I'll wait till another tour to go in. But these comms are normally quite good generally. They normally get quite a lot of love, I feel, like compared to a Ruby purchase, I feel anyway. Like the Blazing Eagle, for instance, that's done really well and stuff. So
It's true. That's been awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. This is kind of a theory I've had, and it looks like we have plenty of time. So you guys can tell me if I'm totally off my rocker or if I'm onto something here. But like one of the things that stood out to me was that this Goomba got this Twilight house, and so I was like, I don't know, it's kind of like a darker themed, some overlap with some Black Right Sail. Next tour we have a Ninja tour where Black Right Sail was introduced, or at least it got a lot of buffs back in the day. Do you think that, we could see a lot of Goomba buffs going towards, Ninja Hideaway? Whereas, like this block, 8-bit block, it got like the Luigi Raceway, it got Donut Plains, a little bit like nice tracks, like a little bit more, Mario lighter tracks. And so maybe it gets more of the shy, dry ruins. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you ever look into that to see like, how like, some items you have like baddie, things like Black Star Shoot, things like boom masks, could we put Goomba in that category for like, kind of like a baddie glider, and then maybe the block glider is more of like a goodie glider, some of like the cat beam balloons and like some of these, nice things. What do you guys think about that?
If I could just quickly point in, I mean, we're doing Mario circuits, and look how many times the 8-bit mushrooms are, which are generally good, nice gliders. They're all over the place. I think you make an absolutely perfect point. I think there's definitely I would say a deliberate, concerted effort towards that. It's hard to, I wouldn't necessarily use that to predict, to decide my buffing strategy, perhaps, unless I had like no gliders on like Bowser's Castles, for example, or something. But no, I don't think it's even that wild. If we went right now and had a look at all the bad tracks per se, I'm sure you'll find a ton of them. So I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think looking at it, because I'm looking at like potential tracks for next tour, and I think like Bowser's Castle might be in there because of like Samurai and stuff like that. But like there's a tropical balloons on Bowser's Castle. Like you wouldn't think like tropical balloons would be in a volcano like setting, would you? So I I think there might be some theming with some stuff, but yeah, Nintendo does strange things with their items and where they place them. So yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it, but I do think that Goomba is definitely going to be the strongest out of them, and I feel like any course that gets it. Someone said, I don't know who it was, I can't remember, but any course, it might have been Drake who said any track that gets like any item that gets a battle course is normally a good item. So, and that's what that one. It's normally a strong item at least anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, but I'm thinking like for me, like for whatever reason, I just like kind of like baddie items. Like I just kind of gravitate because I think they look cooler.
I'm the same.
Yeah. That's just the way for me. So like if where I find joy is investing in some of the beautiful, good looking items, like Secure Hop Rod. For me, like it probably was more powerful of a cart for me because I invested in so many bad carts, so many like, you know. And gliders kind of the same thing. Like if I find a glider that looks cool, that's like a good glider, goody glider, I have to go all in on because like I'm so invested in so many of the baddie gliders that for me it's like it makes more sense than for most people. So I don't know. It's one of those things, but you're right. You know, to your point, Ronnie, is that like that might work for like 60% of the tracks, but there's still 40% that are just super rando and just all over the board. But I do think that in general, like 60% of their tracks are kind of tied loosely to baddie or goody. And from that respect, you know, it does seem like this block is a little bit more of a goody glider. So I'm happy to invest in it. And I know that they also kind of show it in like a bottom of your options versus top of your options, at least when it comes to drivers for sure. But you can see it also with karts and gliders too. But I don't know. I'm a little bit more optimistic and some of the other items. To your point about battle tracks, though, I've always, and I'd love to hear your opinions on this. When it comes to battle tracks, I typically have been prioritizing those karts and gliders, and obviously drivers too. But I think we're all pretty set on drive. We know what to invest in for drivers. It's top skill and some of the better Miis. But for karts and gliders, like for instance, this tour I took the tropical balloons. I quad capped it, so I have on every single battle track a quad capped level 8 glider, the Black Star Chute, 8-bit 1-up. I'm sorry, 8-bit 1-up mushroom, and now tropical balloon. So for me, like that was really important. I did the same thing, but with triple uncapping the karts. Karts are a little harder because there's so many karts, but I got the Lightning Streamliner on the Battle Course 1, Vampire Flyer, and some other ones on the Twilight House. And then, you know, I think I'm still waiting on the Cactus B. That Cactus B is one of the only larger hitbox on Cookie Land. I think if it was this tour, I probably would have taken
Combo Cruiser.
Combo, you know, that's the thing is it's still level 2 for me. I should have invested in. Looking back, I should have. So if you have Combo Cruiser at like level 6, whatever, go ahead and take it to level 7, level 8 for this reason. I agree with you.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about investing?
No, it could be a game changer. Maybe.
You like the Combo Cruiser, SMBros? Is that what you're saying?
I said, what we said was that if you could get them up to that high of a level, it could be a game changer.
I agree.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Combo Cruiser.
Yeah. That's the reason I went in for
Gold Me's there half the time. Sorry, Ronnie. Yeah.
No, that's fine. The blue Crawley got Twilight House, and I've had like the original Crawley kart there, and I've always deliberated on that, and I'm like, oh, it's old, it's not going to get these new tracks. And then when the blue Crawley kart got it as well, I was like, well, it's going to be here every other tour, so why not go for that? And like if Black Great Sale is a really high feature next tour, I'm probably the one person that doesn't have that like level 7 or level 8. I will go in on that because it's so strong, like even now. And yeah, I think battle tracks you've just got to, especially if you're going for like any kind of ACR, like you've got to invest in these things to give yourself a chance, because there is a huge amount of points that you can get on these tracks, and they're 4 times the tour, aren't they? Like always. So you've got.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if like Nintendo was like, and by the way, we've got 3 new battle tracks. Goodbye to the, you know, like, just.
Yeah, but why
knows?
why did they remove New York Minute Battle? Like, it's the same 3 courses all the time. It's like they brought back New York Minute 1, 2, and then now it's removed it, and it's the same 3 tracks.
Minimum effort, maximum.
Yeah.
Nintendo, more like Nintendo.
Control, I like it. Oh boy, mic drop there.
Very nice.
Yeah, no, I think no, like, you know, we have a Mario tour and a Ninja tour. We will have a battle tour. We'll probably get 2 or 3 battle tracks introduced for that battle tour, and then we'll be SOL. But until
every
then,
single ACR track is a battle
Chief
track.
gone. Oh no.
it's coming, man. It'll come.
I'm calling the
we
Luigi's
know.
Mansion
That's when
from Double Dash.
I sit that one out.
Big Donut from N64, and either the Nintendo DS or Top or Pop Tarts from the DS for the battle
No, but
track.
they should have done it like, you know, in the like, I played it on the DS where you stole the balloon if you drove into them. Like, that was so fun. Like, to play with your friends stealing their balloons. They should have done that instead of this, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? You know this community. They'll find a way to hack it, and you'll walk around stealing everyone's balloon for ranks. And oh man, I could see that being just a hot mess. So I'm glad that they didn't do that. That seems like, that seems like a bad idea with this crowd, with this community. We'll find a way.
Ronnie, I was going to say, like, on Twilight House, you were saying about the, you know, Black Great Sale. Have you thought about, like, you know, the 8-bit the 8-bit Fire Flower or the Goomba, you know, that's on there, like
Candlelight Fight too.
Candlelight Fight.
Yeah,
There's so many options on Twilight.
Yeah, I don't have enough tickets to just like to spare on just investing in that. Like, I'm still at the stage where I sometimes do have to invest in these new courses, and I don't have enough to like spread around. I'm starting to get quite a few in the daily shops, and I guess the Goomba is quite interesting. And the other ones, like the 8-bit Fireflower, I've got so much overlap. I guess if I took that one up, like, it would take like 40 tracks and be the best option. But I still think Great Back Sale, which is actually 7 double, like, is still my best option, I think. So it could be something that I invest in, but I still don't get the amount of like tickets that maybe you and Studfit do, that I can sort of just pop them on there unless they're in ranks or whatever. But I'm gradually trying to get around that way, because I do think they're so important, getting those points.
I didn't realize, sorry, I must have missed when you said you had it at 7. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, no, I did. I forgot what level I was.
It's just, I was going to say, if you know, you're going to go in on a newer one, I would maybe go in on the on maybe the Goomba, for example. And now I don't have a Quadcat, and I was going to take the 8-bit Fireflower, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I will do the Goomba or something, because I'm getting, otherwise I'm just investing in like the same things that everyone else is doing, and it might be fun to, you know, to mix it up and
I know what you mean.
Do a Studfit Sakura hot rod, which and look how well, I mean, that was great. It did really, really well. You know, it's fun to do that, you know, to roll the dice and stuff. So
I think so. And I think with the power creep, I think with the power creep of this game, like Space Toad at the moment, he's getting every single new like horrendous top shelf track. Like, you know that this Goomba and some of these 8-bit items will get the same like love.
And then there's also Peach Ikata. She's been getting some of these new tracks as well, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, and some of it is because they're coming back this tour, so they want to make like Samurai Mario, who's got like this new Mario circuit. He's got it if you don't have Gold Me, and that's because he's coming back this tour. Like, Peach Happy's been in ranks so often recently because she's coming back this tour, and then she'll drop off the face of the earth again. But they make you want to get these like older drivers and jack them up. Whereas I think most of us are at the stage where you only really want to invest in like something that will like complete your coverage on loads, or just get the new items now. That's how I feel anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, I think for even some new players, maybe it makes sense to get Peach happy. I just think there's so many other Coinbox drivers. But like if you're new, like everything could look great to you, and I think you and I, Karim, were talking a little bit about like the heart balloons that showed up my daily selects past week. It's like, does it make sense for me to get it? Like looking at its coverage, you got 20 whatever tracks. They're all old tracks that doesn't seem to come back very often. I don't know. For me, it's like those kind of decisions where like if I had limited coins, I would definitely get it. But for me and where I'm at, like older coverage doesn't make sense for a player like myself. But for newer players, and you're looking at this, like say the heart balloons, that's just an example. Hey, 25 tracks, I can cover a bunch of these, Mario circuits. Again, it was just a random daily select option. But in this case, maybe it's something different. Maybe it's one of the cards, or maybe DK SNES or something. It's like, yeah, this guy's gonna really help your account. You're brand new, like go for it. Like it's not gonna hurt. Peach happy, go for it. Like it's probably gonna help. And she even next tour, she might even be featured again, because if you remember, she kind of had like some of this Ninja Hideaway vibe to her. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong if you're a new player. I think honestly, it's better for some of the newer players even to invest in some of the older items even more than some of the newer items. It really depends. I think for us, like we get, if a newer item has coverage that we skipped over before, it's a no-brainer for us. We're like, let's, all things equal, we're going to go with the newer item. But for other people, it really depends on your account.
Yeah, just like these gold pass items, like all these carts. I think there's a Donut Plains this tour where it's like the whole top shelf is like level 1 gold carts for me. But for a new player that's only been playing for like 3 months, like these gold carts are going to bail them out on like a lot of tracks. So, but for us, it's a different game for us, isn't it now? But for the new players, it's absolutely like they're loving it, I think.
Which track was that? I'm quite curious to see all these gold cards.
I can't remember what Donut Plains. I'd have to load up the game. But it's one of the Donut Plains
3, and then there's the RMX this tour.
Yeah, it's like there's like so many gold carts. There's like a gold sweet ride, and I can't remember. I have to find it out, but I remember this.
It's so funny because my girlfriend's got a relatively young account, a few months, and I'll be honest with you, I'm making all her investments for her.
You should.
She actually wants to watch this episode. Like, she wants me to send her a link of it, which I don't know if I want to do, because I think she thinks she's making these decisions. Actually, she is. What am I talking about? No, no. She's, and I. It's amazing. Like the decisions I'm making for her account are. It's a really fun way to play the game. I can see why people have, just like free to play or gold pass only accounts and stuff. Maybe I'll start getting annoyed, or she'll get annoyed when you start approaching, like tiers 55, 60 and things like that. But it's cool because you start like I'm investing in the oh my god, the Taylor Swift, which I don't have. And stuff like that, and it's cool, it's fun, man, and it works for that, it's such a different way, and it really shows you, like, I personally, I've got a really strong account, and I do not have, I have it, but the 8-bit 1-up mushroom, the best glider in the game by a mile, and I'm surviving without it.
Successfully,
yeah, and that's one of the things that's just so very, very cool about this game. Shouldn't what am I looking at?
It's this track. Donut Plains 1RT. Like if I scroll across, you can see just all these random goals.
Oh.
And that's the thing. Like for these guys, like having a gold trickster is going to help them out on quite a few courses. Like I think that's got Twilight House actually. So I think it's interesting.
What's interesting for new accounts, because they've seen, like, they know more what to invest into now, because the items have seen the tracks at least to see to get the buffs. So it's like they can get more, like we have level 6 or 7 double cap we will never use again. It's like, oh, I have this is like I never use this, whereas they can invest their tickets more like smartly, because like they know which tracks actually has what and make most of their tickets, which is great for them.
Like,
Yeah.
they're probably not going to invest, maybe they might get a happy ride, but and I personally wouldn't. I mean, hitbox aside, but still, you know, how good is that car, or was it? But you know, with retrospect now, they can look back and see, yeah, where the things that were once good that no longer are. Try browser's umbrella, all those things. I don't know, like, I think maybe Studfit, you should have an episode where you can get on like a bunch of people who are like 6 months in, and sorry, I'm not telling you what by any means, but it would just be very curious to see a bunch of people who've approaching this game very differently and how their investments really differ from ours, because I think we're largely going to be invested in many of the same things, 8-bit 1UP mushroom aside. So yeah.
Yeah, no, newer players, DM me on Discord. Love to have, that'd be a really cool thought process for an episode. Yeah, I think even if we look at like the meta items, these are like items that really have a lot of value by itself in a vacuum. But the thing is, like, you're never playing with just a vacuum. Playing with a free-to-play account is like the closest you can to a vacuum, and that's kind of why it is kind of entertaining. For me, it's like if this is an awesome item with great coverage, I'm just going to invest in it, and I'll probably have a lot of overlap. But for me, it's like at where I am in the account, overlap is unavoidable. So might as well just have something that has really strong value. But I know there are a lot of players that say, hey, yeah, that has a lot of strong value, but this one over here gives me 4 tracks, that only gives me 2, or that gives this one over here that everyone hates, for me and where the gaps I have in my account, gives me 8 tracks. And it's like Sammy was talking about with the pink speeder. You know, I think that there's a lot of these items out there. Flowery Bandwagon's like one of those where, you know, it fills a lot of great gaps, but, you know, I think a lot of people overlook it. And I think that's what's great about the algorithm and what Antler does to make sure that it kind of, you know, these items that fill a lot of gaps that have exclusive coverage that doesn't overlap with a lot of other top items are highlighted and shown to people, because there's so many to look at, especially for carts. And then on top of that, yeah, go ahead.
Like the pink speeder, the first tour it came out, I went for top 10 that tour, and I took it to 8 quad cap, and it's been so like good for my account the last like couple of months, and it's been like ranked here and like covers this track and that track, and it's, even though people say the hitbox is small, if you like drift, you can actually pick up a lot of coins with it, so it's actually okay good.
I agree. It's been really sneaky. You know, to be honest with you, I think out of all the investments I made all last year, probably outside of like the gold me suit, I think my favorite investment, just because of how good it's been for my account, is the tropical truck. It's been absolutely crushing ranked. It's in like every All Cup ranking all over the place. Pairs really well with Daisy tie dress. Like, I don't know why, but the tropical truck for me was the best investment last year outside of the gold me suit. And like, you know, it hasn't really been like dominant in the top 10, but for me, it's been more useful than the Shield Speedster. And you know, but the hitbox is a big deal for some people, and I get that. But I think if you, it's how you use it too. I don't know. There are items like that probably people, and maybe it's just my account, I don't know, but dude, it's been ranked every tour, it seems.
You convinced me, like, so like that and Jukebox Buggy, I'm pretty happy that I've invested in those. Whereas the Tanuki I'm looking to get rid of. I don't quite know why that is, but it's just that I find that with the Tanuki, like, I keep finding it just getting taken over. Whereas the Jukebox, okay, I haven't heard too much of it of late, so maybe that might well change. But
no, I agree.
Yeah, but the Jukebox and I'm absolutely fine with. I might not quad cap it, but it's and I wouldn't have gone anywhere near it if it wasn't for you. I've always said that the only time, the 2 times I've been really persuaded to invest in something by somebody else was yourself with the jukebox and Sammy D with the Cupid's arrow. Those two I would not have invested in if it was not for you guys. Of course, I take into account the rundown and all that, but I could then go in and do my own stuff. But this one, I was swayed by you know what you said. So, and I'm grateful because it's come in pretty stellar.
But I think it's also hard with our accounts because like when we upgrade our stuff, it will be like the best on those tracks, you know, compared to maybe Gold Pass or free to play who will maybe be 6 double capped. That's like, okay, that's they cap it. That's okay, that's coverage for them. So they will have a lot of overlaps with each other. Whereas when we take something up, it's either like 7 triple capped or 8 triple cap, like then it will be hard for some other stuff to cover that.
Yeah.
Remember level 6 is the max level, and there were no caps. Like we just got to level 6. Like what happened?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's kind of like there's like little different tiers. You know, there's kind of like the level 6 single uncapped, you know, level 7, you know, double uncapped or maybe triple uncapped. And then there's level 8, and that's got to be triple capped.
And then there's the quad cap. So what are you gonna do with that?
Well, yeah, quad capped is like just icing on the cake. Man. Those are made for like battle courses and for me suits, and like that's about it.
I think triple cap beats level 8. If I take something triple capped, I know that's me laying down a marker that I'm prioritizing that. Okay, quad capping might have slightly altered that, but if I took something triple cap, then I knew that that was like whatever tracks it had, it was going to that. Yeah. Whereas level 8, I mean, I've got the level 8. What is it? Rainy balloons. You know, like,
The
Pretty
dark clouds.
Dark clouds, yeah, rainy balloons or something like that. Yeah, I know. I'm with you there, but no, I think like just in general, like rarely do I have like if I look at all my just 595 gliders and carts, they're like all level 6. Because for me, if I have it at level 7, I'm gonna triple uncap it. Like you know, like I'm rarely gonna have like I'm never gonna have a double uncapped level 5 driver, level 4 driver. That's just not gonna really happen for very long. You know, and this tour, you know, specifically, I've even been a little bit more frisky, just throwing a single cap at something like a glider or a cart, not really a driver so much. But that's kind of how it is. I will say one of the things that is interesting. I've had actually surprisingly, I showed you this earlier, Karim. For carts, I have a lot of tickets. I have like something like 23 cart tickets, which is really rare for me. But like and this tour I had, I think it was the Cream Cat Cruiser that I have a level 4 that I'm using for I forget which track it is for ranked. And I thought about going in on this rainbow buggy. I was like, you know, this is I have the tickets. I could use a level 6, could use a level 7 cart, but to me it's like to get all this dumb coverage, to get all the Mario circuit coverage, I'm just like I'll wait another tour. I'll just use Cream Cruiser at level 4 and just call it a day. Get whipped my butt again by another Nathalie, and we'll just we'll call it a day. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like there's just too much Mario circuit this tour for me to get excited about anything. And with next tour being ninja stuff, I really want to see which stuff gets ninja buffs, which stuff gets dry ruin buffs, because the stuff that gets dry ruin buffs will win next tour, will be awesome items that we all are investing in. The stuff that get Ninja Hideaway, man, it'll be tough. I hope awesome looking items don't get the Ninja Hideaway, because that'd be such a waste. But
it will be
guys,
great.
we're at 2 hours. Can you believe it?
2 hours. I was going to say I was looking forward to 16 tracks of Cheap Lagoon, Cheap Island.
And then
as I would say.
But then swimwear can be used again when all those come back. He has been like that.
Jeez, how many Marios could there be? Too many.
So many Marios. Good guys. Well, we're at the time for this episode. I'd like to go around and have you guys say goodbye to your fans. As well as also, I'd love to hear for one thing that you want to do this year for 2023. If you have like a little bucket list item that you'd like to do in the game, or you could say outside the game too. But what's one thing that you'd like to accomplish this year in or outside the game? And then say goodbye to your fans. So we'll let the most established person tackle both of those tasks with probably the person who has more fans than me, Karim.
Brands, I mean, there's Hero. Who else are you talking about? What are you, no, I'm just kidding. What would I, outside the game, I don't know, probably try and let my girlfriend actually control her own account. That's still in the game, sorry.
That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
That doesn't make sense. Inside the game, I'm gonna actually move away from ranked and try and just build like an ultimate sort of ACR. It's already strong, but I want to build just an ACR account. I have spent tickets on ranked because I wanted to get pick retrieve, and I think I want to move away from that. But in terms of the actual game itself, I'm feeling a little bit burnt out. I'm going to take that away, and I've started carrying on from the doctor tour. I say carrying on, it started post the doctor tour. Me and my girlfriend, we've just joined the gym down the road and stuff. I might say so, Studfit, you are looking good. I'm not just saying that just to be nice and to shout out to your fans. You're looking good, mate. Genuinely. So that's something that I want to do. Less Mario Kart. It's so annoying. You can't be on a treadmill and play. It's so frustrating.
Stairmaster. I use the Stairmaster, man. You could just kind of just.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Using motion controls like me.
Hey, if there's a will, there's a way. The elliptical, you can kind of just kind of wiggle around. Yeah.
But thanks, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Ronnie's always great to. I think we've been on a good 2-3 times. It's surprising that we don't actually chat more to each other. Natalie, unfortunately, I've known for ages. God, you know, kicking. Honestly, she's up there with one of the best players I've watched her stream and do things that I simply just cannot do. SMBros, it was lovely to meet you guys, and you know, for the second time, one half of you anyhow, and always. Studfit, thanks a lot, bud. And Hero, I love you, man.
There you go, fans. Say goodbye to Karim. That was very nice. Yeah, over the, I don't know if I mentioned the results, but over the doctor tour, I decided to just track my meals and make sure to get 30 minutes of exercise. You know, as I was searching for a new job, I had some extra time, and it's easy just to snack when you're sitting around and you're doing stuff. So for me, it was actually really hard to do it at that point in time. And then also in January, I started. I just decided as kind of my New Year's resolution to not have any boredom beers. And so on the weeknights, not have any alcohol. So nothing on Monday, Tuesday. Actually, nothing on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I've been able to do that this year. So for me, that's easy calories that are just empty that I've got away. So over the doctor tour, I went from 233 pounds down to 223. I've since leveled off. I'm like I haven't really been tracking my calories as much since, but since then I'm like 225. So overall, a net loss of at least 8 pounds. And I feel like this is something I want to keep continuing just to track, especially on days where I don't have a lot going on, just tracking my calories. I highly recommend those who did the Healthy Life Challenge to continue that. But for me, I don't know. It's like, especially like getting a new job, there's something about just like starting fresh and like wanting to like improve yourself and like, you know, start on a good note. And so I know when I meet my new colleagues, they'll be like, oh, okay, he's not a fat ass. That's good to know. So for me, that was a good accomplishment. But Karim specifically called you guys out. I appreciate that. We'll start with the other top 10 person this tour. I know Nathalie and Karim, we'll see who finishes top this tour between the two of you. But Nathalie, if you want to call your shots, now's a good time to do it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been a blast. I think for me, like it's been hard, like these, cause I always save for top 10. Then all those tours when I save, it's been like it's really a struggle to play. It's like I don't feel like playing if I save 5-6 tours without investing, and it's like it's so hard to play. I don't even feel like playing. I just think greeting coins do the bare minimum. Like find like happiness, like playing tours where I don't invest into stuff, because I feel like that's hard for me. Also with me starting my new job, so it's like find that balance where I can be happy playing without, I need to go for top 10 where I feel satisfied.
Good. Well, sounds like you're doing a great job now, and now that your hand's all healed, you can get back to it. But thanks again for joining us, and thanks for just your encouragement and positivity, and just leading the way especially for the females out there who want someone to look up to, who plays the game in a competitive way. There's you're a little outnumbered, and so it's good to have your voice out there and show people that it can very easily be done if you're committed. So Nathalie, thank you very much, especially for representing the women here. And women's I think it's a Women's Month, right? Or Women's Success Month or something like that. So
I don't know.
We're celebrating women apparently at my new company.
Always.
I think every day should be Women's Day, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anything else you want to accomplish this year?
Shout out to Taylor Swift. I want to see Taylor Swift at concert.
That's pretty big one.
Well, I actually, on side of that, I just graduated this January. I became a nurse.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I want to be. Thank you. Being like, now it's my first real job, like being successful in that, like, helping people, and also with, how the world is, like doing the different stats, like really gives me a lot of joy in my like everyday life, and like how to like now I'm learning to become a nurse, so how to like that's my priority now.
Yeah, you might have to hang up the thumb gloves here and focus a lot on your next your career, because I mean being a nurse is not easy. There's a lot of long days, a lot of stress, but I'm sure also Mario Kart can help. When you have a long day and you have old people yelling at you and stuff, you can just open up the app and get back to your blissful state. So again, thanks for joining us, Nathalie. I appreciate that. You're always someone that we look up to. SMBros, welcome Hunter and Jordan. Thanks again for joining us. Glad you guys, we got the Mario Kart brothers with us. Yes, exactly. Both wearing the Mario Luigi. What would you guys like to say to your fans, and anything else you'd like to accomplish this year?
Two things. First, this is directed toward Nathalie. I'm coming from me working for an assisted living facility. I know exactly how I feel having to deal with those cranky people at times. But to those after working there for about 2 years, you just get used to it. You know what their preferences are and what they like and dislike, and there's just like butter. That's number one. Two, for our goals, well, for Hunter, he kind of needs to try to get back out there more, socialize a bit more. And for me, I don't really have anything much, really. I'm just gonna keep on cruising, just keep on doing what I'm doing, and as long as I put smiles on faces, I'm good.
There you go. You gotta love that, man. You guys, I want to see another shake and bake. You guys crushed that before. Boom! That's
Let's
go. All right, Ronnie, last but not least, Ronnie, what would you like to say to your fans, and maybe something you want to accomplish this year?
My one fan, whoever that is, thank you for supporting me. Thank you, Karim. I'm at a stage where I like going for top 100. Like that's what gets me interested. So I want to build my account tailored towards that. Like ranked is fun and all, but if I'm just playing that, it's not that fun a game. So yeah, making my account super strong, constantly going for like top 100s is my in-game thing. Outside of that, I've got to say, my wife's a doctor and she's very much appreciative of all the stuff that nurses do. So Nathalie, really we're really appreciative of all the stuff that you will have to do to make everybody's life better in that hospital which you work out, whatever. And yeah, for me, I'm sort of in between jobs at the moment, but I'm in a really good place mentally. So finding a new job that really suits me, I think, is the next step for me. I've had some sort of free time around the house doing lots of decorating and painting, so that's been good. But now I'm at the stage where I need to play a bit less America and a bit more like raking in the money so I can buy the Goomba glider like 3 times rather than just once. So but yeah, no, it's good. And yeah, thank you for inviting me on. It's always good to speak to the elite, the top tier people. So it's been nice. And SMBros, are you the guys that do the have the lightning frenzies all the time? Is that you?
Oh yeah.
Yep, that does the lightning and blue
The lightning
cells.
whispers.
London lightning,
I
bro.
love lightning. Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot that up. I don't know whether I was supposed to, but I remember your name from the server. So yeah, it's been a pleasure to like see some of you for the first time. Karim, to be on with you again, and obviously Studfit. Thank you for inviting me on. It's always been a fun 2 hours or however long we've been now. So yeah, thank you.
Stuff. Could I just say what I was meant to? I neglected in my duties. I was going to give a shout out to Shadow Legend because he has taken the 8-bit block glider to 7 triple cap, and he now has officially accepted the challenge that he's going to go for top 10 in the next was it a month or 2 months?
Shadow Legend. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and if he doesn't do it, then he's going to be letting down pretty much the whole of Australia. So
Whole continent.
yeah, we chatted beforehand. He said, bring it on, and I completely forgot because I just didn't think he had the talent or ability. But let him prove me wrong. What can I say?
Wow.
No,
Okay.
I love him and I wish him good luck. And he didn't actually say that. I'm pressuring him. So,
Good
but
luck.
yeah,
Made the skills though. So.
Yeah, he got his
Well-
first, he got number 16 last tour. Amazing.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, we like Shadow Legend. Shadow Legend's our boy. So hopefully you go for it, Shadow. And then also Karim, I know you own like multi-million-dollar businesses. Maybe you could hook up Ronnie and bring him into the family, the Karim family, right?
Start up a little business in Norwich. I don't want to move over to London, but you can bring.
He's just down the street, right?
there's lots of like flat land. I don't know. I'm sure we could I don't know, like pick up some parsnips or something. I don't know. What do you do in Norwich?
Well, you guys can take that offline, but I'm just trying to make connections. I'm a connector. I like connecting people. So thank you guys for joining us. We're at the end of our episode. What an awesome, fun episode. I think it was generally positive. I think the last couple episodes we were droning on about being burnt out and stuff, but this was a generally very positive conversation.
No level 9. There's going to be no level 9.
Well, we
my
didn't
God.
speak
Oh my
about
God.
that.
Level 9. Yes.
Now,
It's not
if
gonna happen.
level 9 happens, we're going to be back to our
Back
doldrum
to square one.
burnout episodes. But this was
That's
a
fine.
positive episode. It was great that we somehow avoided it. Hopefully it doesn't.
The positive side. I want to give a
Mario Kart,
special
if you're listening, do not bring level 9. Do not bring level 9.
Level 10. Level 10.
Honestly,
No.
I feel like if level 9 comes, Kart Talk's over. I don't know how we can even have a positive conversation with level 9 if that were to happen. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate everyone's enjoyment here for the 2 hours. Thank you for watching at home. Leave us a comment, leave us a like if you can. And until next time, may the frenzy luck be with you.
Peace out.
See you guys.
Double peace
Guys.
and take care.
All the best.